North Carolina makes the trip up to Central New York, riding a 13-game winning streak, while Syracuse has dropped 3 straight but has a chance to get back in the win column today in the season finale. It's the number 1 Tar Heels taking on the number 11 Orange in an ACC field hockey showdown. Welcome everyone into the Cuse.com pregame show, getting you going for SU and UNC. I'm Jaron May, joined by Samantha Croston in the Newhouse studios. Aaron Matson is the savior for the number 1 North Carolina Tar Heels as UNC comes into Syracuse and takes down the Orange 4-3 in overtime. Wow, that was a game. Welcome into the Cuse.com post-game show in the Newhouse studios. Jaron May here with Samantha Croston. Samantha, I got to take a deep breath. That was a crazy finish, and who else to finish it off? Aaron Matson. For the first time this season, Notre Dame is down at half as the number 2 Syracuse Orange lead the number 4 Notre Dame Fighting Irish 10-6 after 30 minutes. Welcome into the halftime report. Jaron May here with Samantha Croston. We talked about Syracuse. We talked about North Carolina. Now let's compare these two and let's look at their stats. Let's get nitty-gritty. Let's get statistical here, because when you look at them, all of the stats favor UNC. Why Syracuse is struggling so much on those penalty corners is because of the play of Amanda Hendry. The goalkeeper for UNC has been, let's just say, standing on her head, and especially on those penalty corners, diving, dodging, jumping, shutting down Syracuse. So Emma Ward steps up for Syracuse. 2 names that you also need to know. The Megan Show, one with an H, one without one. It's Megan Tyrell and Megan Carney. They have also stepped up in a big way. They have the same stats. This is kind of crazy, Samantha. 10 goals and 6 assists for both of them through the first 3 games. The halftime highlights, here we go. Syracuse had quite a few opportunities at the beginning. Shots on net, shots on net, shots on net. That's the key, Samantha.
And it has been so far. We see they just do such a great job. They're patient on their offensive opportunities, too. There's never any shots that you think, oh, nothing was planned there. You know, they really work so well as a team together. And to them, I don't think it matters who scores. I think it just matters that the ball does go into the back of the net.
The 2 goals for North Carolina. First, Katie Dixon assisted to Hannah Griggs with that first goal, and you just saw it right there. Aaron Matson capitalizes on the corner. And again, UNC leads 2-0. They lead in most statistical categories as well, Samantha. Let's switch over to UNC. In North Carolina, they get a lot of credit offensively, and we're going to touch on that in just a little bit. But defensively, they are also a stout defense. In 9 of their 15 games this season, they've held opponents to just 1 or fewer goals. And Aaron Matson, we got to talk about her because she's currently the ACC Offensive Player of the Year, but she's all ACC. She's All-American. She's on the U.S. national team. The accolades could go on for days, Samantha. How does she impact this Tar Heels squad? Now let's take a look at the entire ACC and talk about how the conference is so dominant. When we look at the national rankings, in the ACC, there's 7 teams for field hockey. All 7 make up the top 14 nationally ranked teams. So she has tying her career high with 4 goals in the first half, also adding an assist in there. She's been bobbing and weaving and also putting some heat on her shots. So again, Syracuse grabs the 4-goal victory against the number 4 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's check out how this game went down. And it started off hot as Syracuse just poured on in the first half. At the halftime, it was 10-6, and it was all thanks to some younger players for Syracuse.
And you love seeing that, the little Tyrell getting her chance, and Megan Tyrell as well, really just absolutely dominating out there on the offensive end.
But then in the second half, the Fighting Irish got back in it, and you really looked to Madison Moat. She had 3 goals in that second half. Casey Choma also ended with 4.
And that's why I think Notre Dame did get a little boost in this second half, and props to Notre Dame for fighting the whole way through, despite the fact that they didn't come out with the win at the end.
They do come out, Syracuse comes out with the victory, even though it doesn't look like, if you saw Asa Goldstock right there, it didn't look like she just grabbed a victory. I think those last second goals kind of got in her head, and maybe she's a little upset. Now, we're talking a lot of negativity about this Syracuse team, but they still have quite a few bright spots. And when we talk about bright spots, it's Plune Lammers. The sophomore forward has been fantastic for the Orange so far this season. She has 8 points. She started as a reserve this season and actually worked her way up into the starting lineup.